I can't feel my face, Drac.
Damn, I need to make some of that cider.
No, seriously, I really can't feel my face. I've had too much of it.
All right, hello and welcome back. It is unfortunately another Monday, but today is February 4th, and welcome to the Bamsters News. I am Draconis, and joining me today is Senior Bam Havoc.
Yes, guys, welcome back to another news episode of myself and Draconis. He joined me Friday, I'm joining him Monday, and as you can tell, Drac hates Mondays. So what we call him, the Garfield, the ginger one.
Don't we all hate Mondays? Do you know of anybody who actually really loves Mondays? Believe
it or not, I enjoy Mondays.
Well, you are a strange bird.
I like Mondays. I can't deny that. What have we got today, Drac? What have we got today?
All right, first up, big juicy rumor that hit the interwebs this weekend. Is the next Titanfall game going to be announced as early as today or sometime this week? Is it going to be a Battle Royale game?
I totally agree with that. It's going to be a Battle Royale game. It's taken the mainstream developers and publishers to get on that Battle Royale bus. Unfortunately, that bus has left. I think the Battle Royale sort of genre of gaming is petering out and dying off. I think these guys are coming to the party a bit late, but hey, you know, there's a special equation that EA equals monetization and market trend. Subtract the cost and development time. So basically, zero effort and zero time. They've just been sat on their asses.
Yeah, you like that equation, huh?
I do. I love it.
We'll put it in the description so people can see it with minus
lovely.
Minus Bam's cider tongue.
I tell you what, I won't lie, I have brewed my own cider and it's luscious. Luscious.
Yeah, no, so we've talked about Battle Royale games before and, you know, these companies jumping on the bandwagon, and really if our thoughts on the process, for whatever that may be worth, is that if you're going to bring something to this Battle Royale genre, it's got to be done in a way that you bring something new to the table. Now, running around, you know, wall running and jumping in and out of mechs, is this the Battle Royale, something new to the genre that we didn't know we needed? Maybe, maybe not. However, I'm also hearing a rumor that this might be Titanfall Battle Royale minus the mechs. So at that point, is there, like, what makes it different? What makes it stand out then?
Pure rumor and conjecture. I think what they're going to do is they're going to sell it as a AAA Battle Royale, and there is your hook, there's your catch, there's your gimmick. I don't think there's going to be any different to how any other Battle Royale plays out. Whether you're in a mech, whether you're not in a mech, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I heard a rumor that you're only going to get the mechs if you're the last two. I also heard the same rumor that you heard, that it's going to be a Battle Royale without the mechs. And then I've heard a rumor saying it's Battle Royale purely in mechs. So nobody really knows. This is pure rumor and conjecture. So until they say something, we don't know.
Yeah, so if you like Titanfall or you like the idea of, you know, PvP and mechs and whatnot, keep an eye out on EA's social media feeds to see what they announce.
Well, I like mechs. I do. And I didn't like Titanfall, so there's that.
I didn't play the first one, but I did play the second one. I had fun with that.
Did you enjoy it?
I did. I liked it.
Did you have fun? Well, then there we go. They actually delivered on what they promised. Fun for an individual.
Yeah. So, something else the gaming industry doesn't need? How about devs threatening their consumers?
Yeah, I've heard about this. The developers for Metro have done some really, really interesting things. I think it's a little bit unwarranted, but you can carry on telling me about this, Jack, because I can't see the writing.
Well, from everything I've seen, this really looks like it's a developer who might be maybe not completely understanding a lot of the negative feedback that the Metro franchise is getting right now. So for those of you who maybe this is news to, we did mention this, I think, last week about how within 2 weeks, or basically about 2 weeks out of the actual launch, Deep Silver decided that they were no longer going to sell the game on Steam. They were going to honor any pre-orders that had been made on Steam prior to that date, but going forward, that it was going to be an exclusive on the Epic Games Store. So if you hadn't already pre-purchased it, the only way to buy it for the next year is going to be on the Epic Games Store. Now, a lot of people have reacted pretty negatively to this, and I honestly, I don't blame them. Metro was something that was on my radar early on because I thought I'd heard a rumor that it was going to have co-op and then found out only recently that it wasn't. So for me, while the game looks interesting, it's something I'd put on the back burner and maybe pick up on a sale anyway. So I can wait out the year. But there are a lot of real big fans of the series who also, yeah, sure, it doesn't take much time to install another launcher like the developer mentions in his post. But they just don't want to have all these extra accounts and these extra launchers on their system. They want to have their, Steam game library with everything centrally located. And I think that's going to become less and less a possibility the more time goes on because more and more of these companies are, we've seen Bethesda do it recently. They're segregating out into their own launchers so that they don't have to pay those margins like Steam wants. Epic is wooing away a lot of developers because they're charging a much smaller percentage than Steam does. So the good thing with the way that Epic has been handling some of their business is they're basically creating competition for Steam that wasn't really there before. But with these, we'll call them launcher exclusives, they're segregating the PC player base, and that's one thing that PC players, for the most part, don't particularly care for and haven't had to deal with like console folks have.
Yeah, that is something that I find quite detestable. To be brutally honest, whether you play on a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox, you're still a gamer. You still enjoy the same experiences. You still want that sort of escapism from your daily life. And now to find out that Epic is now segregating, because it's segregation of the PC community. Whether you are on Steam, Epic Games, Origin, whatever have you, it's still a segregation. Just have it on one system. Seriously. Can't be that bad.
Well, I don't mind if it's on multiple systems, but the way to do that is really not to force it. It's not to do these exclusives that are a year long. The way to do that is to offer it on multiple platforms and let people purchase it where they want to. And while I'm still not a big fan of exclusives, if you're going to do an exclusive, don't do it for more than like 1 to 2 months, because really all you're doing is punishing the people for a business. You're punishing your consumers because they would prefer to have the game on a different platform.
I agree there. I've got nothing else to add to that. That is nail on the head there, dude. Yeah, they are punishing the consumer for wanting it on Steam, yes.
But where the threat comes in all of this is the developer seemed to have taken a lot of this criticism that the crowd is throwing at them personally. And while I think most of the criticism, at least from people who understand the difference between a developer and a publisher, has been leveled at the publisher end, I know there are some folks who I've heard rumors that the older games are getting review bombed now because of this and whatnot. So he was basically saying, if the PC crowd continues to do these kinds of things, if they boycott the game and they don't buy the game, then they just won't make it for PC in the future. And that would be unfortunate for the real fans of the game. And you know what? It would be unfortunate for the real fans of Metro. And, I've seen some things where basically, it's forcing people into a position where you have to make a decision. Do you want to support the developers and buy it on the Epic Games Store now, which will then also reward the publisher for their shitty decisions and tell them it's okay to do that? Or do you want to try and send a message to the publisher and not purchase it yet, wait for a year until it's on Steam, and then purchase the game? Of course, a year from now, it'll probably be on sale. It'll sell for less, possibly. And send that message to the publisher, but in the process, maybe hurt the developer because of the lack of sales over the year.
If they're issuing an ultimatum like that, I quite literally say, stuff them. Don't make it for PC then. If they want to play the game, make it just for consoles. And at the end of the day, the only people that will suffer, because a lot of people that have PC gaming rigs also have consoles. That is a verifiable fact. The only people that are going to hurt at the end of the day is the developer themselves, not the publisher. Publisher doesn't care. They've got revenue and royalties from the consoles, and so does the developers. But the developer themselves are going to suffer, not the community. The community won't suffer. The developer will by making their statement. So I quite literally say, stuff the developer, sod them, let them make it for consoles only, and then we'll see where the dust settles. If they're going to take that attitude, fine, cut and run. Quite literally. That's the attitude I'll take with them as well. But that's me. And that is the side of talking. I won't lie. My face is numb. I can't feel it. I'm still drinking it, though.
Well, I'm sure that's a topic we could go on about for a while. But since we are talking about Metro and Epic and the shady last-minute, I'm going to call it ninja thieving of that title, Epic has also published something. One of the guys on Twitter, Tim Sweeney, has come out and said that they are going to add a review system. So this is something that they have in the works. It's not available yet, but they are basically going to create a review system and install that into the Epic Store. However, here's the bad part of this. In an effort to curb or stop things like review bombing from happening, they're only going to have the reviews if the developer opts into it. So when the developer puts a game out onto the Epic Store, they'll have to manually opt into allowing players to give a review, which basically kind of seems to create a one-sided conversation, because why would you opt in if you think that people are going to review your game poorly?
I think what this is going to be is a developer, if you think about the implications of what you've just said, is that the developer can quite easily remove any negative criticism, feedback, any actual criticism and feedback, and only have good reviews on their game. That's what's going to happen. They're going to remove all and any criticism, any poor reviews, and only leave the good ones on there. And let's face it, most reviews are bought nowadays.
Well, and here's the thing, too. We've seen this happen a few times with different games, and as much as I enjoy the indie market, I think I've seen it. Well, you know what? No, I can't actually say. I was going to say I think I've seen it more on the indie side, but I've seen a few AAA companies do this as well when they've gotten really bad reviews over stuff, or mostly negative. But you'll see a developer like what we were talking about with Metro who might take the criticism, even if the criticism comes in a way that's constructive. They've been so deep in it that it seems like their reaction to it can seem personal. And I've seen where developers have taken even constructive criticism and lashed back out at people for it. So it's almost like one of these things of, this actually reminds me of a conversation I think that G and I had, and he had a really good suggestion where Epic should at least allow a type of curated reviews where folks can apply to be a reviewer on Epic and then create reviews and stuff for Epic, and then if there's a need to have their reviews audited from time to time, that can be done to make sure that they're not just review bombing things or leaving crappy reviews. I think the only problem with that is then who is the gatekeeper for that. So it's not a perfect system either, but I think it would definitely be a better way than just saying, oh well, we're going to let the developers themselves choose whether or not people can leave reviews.
I want to say if that's the case, it's going to have to be a self-regulated, curated system. Fans, or necessarily people that work for free, will have to then curate it. But it's open for discussion, I think.
Well, and then if you thought that they were going to remain quiet any longer and let all these other development teams and publishing houses hog the spotlight, Bethesda has asked the other companies to hold its beer one more time. The January 29th update apparently is looking like some kind of rollback more than an update. It's reintroduced all kinds of bugs that were apparently fixed in previous updates. So it's break, fix, breaker, I guess.
I think what they're doing is they're bringing the game back to a more stable state, and then they're going to go from there, because the actual fixes they put into it weren't actually good enough. They were volatile on the server, and that's just me pulling at strings here, because I do not know why they would roll back their update. It just makes no sense. Their
explanation for this was that they had a bunch of in-house development builds, different parts of the game that did not cohesively mesh the way that they were supposed to, and that's why this happened. But it still seems really strange. Obviously, I'm not a game developer, so I don't know the specific ins and outs, especially at that level of creating a game, on how that stuff works. But I don't know, that just seems strange. And, now they've got things like bobby pins are weighing a full pound. I mean, come on. That's one big-ass bobby pin.
I don't know. I really don't. I just think they were trying to get the game back to a more stable state within the system and then move from there. But that's only a guess.
But if that were the case, don't you think it would be smarter for them to then say, you know what, we've tried to implement a bunch of bug fixes, but it's caused a lot of these other issues, so we're rolling back to an earlier state, and we know how to fix some of the things that will be coming back up, and in the upcoming week or weeks, we will be implementing those bug fixes in hopefully a more stable fashion. Like, don't you think it would be smarter to be more open about that?
Yeah, here's the thing about Bethesda. Common sense isn't so common.
Yeah, apparently.
If this was me being Bethesda type dude, I'd go ahead and say, listen, this, that, meow, 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 and that's what's going to happen. That's our roadmap forward. You'd get a lot of backlash, but you wouldn't get as much backlash as you're getting now.
Yeah, but see, I don't know that you would get anywhere near as much backlash as you're even suggesting, just because not that long ago, Nintendo had come out and said, look, we're scrapping the development on Metroid Prime 4, I think it is, and we're starting all over. That it wasn't up to our standards. We weren't satisfied with how it was going. I think they said they were going back to the original company that made the original Metroid series. So they're basically going back to the drawing board and starting over. And the consumer reaction to that was understanding and even positive in cases.
That's because Nintendo handled that PR disaster very, very well.
Yeah.
That's how you PR the peoples and the customers. That's how you do it. But not like this. Just not like this. Just do it. And then hopefully people don't notice. They do understand that people do play Fallout 76. I mean, case in point, in Germany, you can get a free brand new copy of Fallout 76 for 24 freaking pounds. I'm like, yes, please.
No, I'm not going to do my scary German voice again.
No, please don't. That gave me nightmares, bro.
All right, and then before we get out of here today, the last thing we wanted to mention is there's an RTS by the name of Bannermen that is having their beta that will go live this Friday, February 8th, and will go through the weekend, Sunday the 10th. So if that is something that you're interested in checking out, if you like RTSs, this is going to be a medieval-style RTS. We'll make sure that there is a link in the description where you can pull out more information and go sign up to participate in the beta.
I can't feel my face. Right, guys, thank you very much for joining Drake and myself for the Monday news. Guys, I do hope this finds you well. My name is Bam Havoc, and I can't feel my face. Toodle pip, this side is brilliant.
And for myself here in sunny Southern California, not so sunny recently, but we'll take the rain. This is Draconis, and I'm out.